So for my first example, I've got a lawnmower, and it does 14 million joules of work. So you can make a diagram of a little guy pushing a lawnmower if you want. For me, it's more helpful to think about the energy. So I've got chemical potential energy in the form of gasoline, and that chemical potential energy is transferred to kinetic energy by the engine. So that's what I'm going to use for my diagram, but if you're not sure, you can use a little guy pushing a mower. The variables in this case, we are going to have work, we are going to have power, and we are going to have time. These are our three variables. It says, what is the power? So we're trying to find the power. It says it can do 14 million joules of work. So this is 14, and then million is times 10 to the 6th. So that's how much energy is transferred from chemical stored energy to kinetic energy. And it takes 1 hour. So this is 1.0 hours, but that's a non-standard unit. We need it in seconds. So we're going to write this as 3,600 seconds. So there's my variable list. My plan, it's really easy. I am simply going to solve the equation power equals work over time to find the power. And I don't even really need to solve it. I could just say evaluate. So I don't need to do any algebraic manipulations. I just take 14 times 10 to the 6th joules. I divide it by 3,600 seconds. And here's why we show our units. Joules per second is watts, which is why we have an idea that our answers have got the right units. So I take 14 times 10 to the 6th, and I divide it by 3,600. I get 3,900 joules per second, or 3,900 watts. Okay? Now, a power of 3,900 watts really doesn't, we don't really have any way to think about that because we just don't deal in watts. So one of the things we often do is we convert it to a unit that we are more familiar with, which is horsepower. So if I take my 3,900 watts, which is joules per second, I can use my conversion factor that there are 745 watts in 1 horsepower. And so if I cancel the watts, I'm left with horsepower. 3,900 divided by 745 is about 5.2 horsepower. So another way to express the power of my mower, the rate that it transfers energy, is in besides in joules per second, or watts, is in horsepower. So this lawnmower is about a 5 horsepower mower. And that gives you an indication of kind of, how much energy it can transfer compared to a horse or a mining mule. Okay?